Define entrepreneurial excellence for me. How do you define that? What does that mean? You advise so many people, invested in so many people. What is an excellent entrepreneur?
It changes based on what you want to do. But if I'm looking from my perspective, the ones that were excellent, doesn't matter if the business succeeded or failed, are people that are able to learn fast, adapt, and focus on the problem, not the solution. Learning fast, adapting, and focusing on what is the problem you want to solve versus the solution you bring to market helps you on a continuous basis get to each level to the next level.
Okay, so I love that, but dig in a little bit deeper there. So when a few different questions at that point, you say like you focusing on the problem and not the solution. What do you really mean there? Like, what does that mean? Define that more.
Depends on which research you look at. 35 to 45% of startups fail because they are building things that people don't need. It doesn't mean they don't raise money. They actually end up raising money. But what they focus on is something that they perceive as a problem. But the way I define it is basically a headache problem versus a migraine problem, which is I have a small problem, but if I have a headache, I just take an aspirin for it. It's not materially meaningful for me to change my behavior to use it. And a migraine problem, if you ever had migraine, is like, slam the door, don't talk to me for the next 3 days till it's over. And theoretically, to build a successful business, to be excellent in what you do as an entrepreneur, is to discover that type of problem and dig deeper and be obsessed on how do I solve the problem. Because the product itself and the company itself may evolve and change all the time. Will because of the needs. Because serving 20 clients versus 2,000 versus 200,000 has completely different needs, and the business needs to evolve. Even if I'm going back to the startup that I mentioned before, we were focused on small-scale farmers in Africa, okay? When we started in 2015, there was hardly any internet connectivity, but also no smartphones. Fast forward 5 years later, we had about, at that time, I think 2.5, 3 million users on the platform, but it was mostly SMS. And we realized that the market has changed. And now 45% of the people within the region had smartphones. Shitty smartphone compared to what we call a smartphone, but it works with data connectivity. Yeah. And we took a decision to flip and basically close all the SMS services and move to the smartphone. And one of the biggest uproar from even our own team was, you're leaving the company aside. It's not what the vision. I was like, no. SMS was a platform we used to service the biggest problem, which is connectivity of farmers, helping them buy, sell online, building our business around the value to them. If they move the platform, we're going to move with them. And because the market is going to develop, 99% of them will have smartphones over the next 5 years, then keeping SMS alive doesn't make sense. And as a startup, you need to take tough decisions. But again, the obsession on the problem and the focus on where do you actually create the value allowed us to drop something that took us years to build on a system that we had to completely pivot. A better example in a more successful startup than us, I don't know how many people know this, but Facebook moved from PC to mobile. And so we're old enough. There were 2 years when Facebook didn't issue new features on Facebook. They just removed everything to mobile and became a mobile-first platform. That was a very tough decision to do, and basically what saved them and made them the big mammoth that they are today. A lot of other websites didn't manage to move to mobile, and that was again an example. You need to service where the user is at versus focus on the product that I have and how amazing it is.